بواز بلندتر صلوات.
Okay, no problem.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. Following the events that took place on the afternoon of the day of Ashura, from the adhan that Ali al-Akbar gave in the morning to the first one that went on that day and was martyred for the sake of Allah, until the time came when the family members had also been martyred, the time when Hussain alayhi salam stood alone in the desert of Karbala, when Hussain alayhi salam bid farewell to every one of his children who were present, where Hussain alayhi salam bid farewell to his beloved sister, when Hussain alayhi salam bid farewell to Zainul Abidin and reminded Zainul Abidin that your mission is yet to come, O Ali. Allah has made you ill on this day of Ashura for a reason, because you shall be the Imam after me and you shall continue to protect the religion of Muhammad after my martyrdom. After Aba Abdullah al-Hussein was ruthlessly, mercilessly martyred, beheaded on the day of Ashura on the plains of Karbala, we find that the enemies did not stop there. They also had plans of what to do after they have killed Hussain alayhi salam. These were not men without hearts. These were people who are no less than animals without hearts. It wasn't enough for them to see 72 men being put to the sword, beheaded on the day of Ashura. Now they looked towards Hussain and they saw Hussein's body lying alone on the plains of Karbala. But they remembered that before Hussain came to battle, Hussain returned to his family and asked his family for some old pieces of clothes. Hussain asked for old clothes and he ripped them and he wore them under his armor, with the intention that if these accursed people take my armor as war booty, then maybe they will leave my clothes on my body when they see them all torn. But these were not men. These people looked at the body of Hussain alayhi salam and they saw that this body still has clothes on it. One man went closer to Hussain alayhi salam and noticed that Imam is wearing a shirt. He ripped this shirt and he pulled it off the blessed body of Hussain. Another man went closer to the Imam and he saw that the Imam's legs were covered with some sort of trousers. He said he pulled them, and now the Imam laid on the plains of Karbala with only a little clothing covering him. Then a mal'oon came closer to the holy Imam and he saw that on the hand of the Imam there was a ring. But this man didn't simply take off the ring of the finger of Hussain. He came closer to the ring of the Imam. He saw the ring, so he lifted the hand of the Imam and he cut off the Imam's finger in order to take the ring. Another man came and he was looking at Hussain and he was telling himself that what is left of this body, that I may take something as war booty. He says, I saw the sword of Hussain, so I stole his sword as my prize. Then the enemies understood that they have looted Hussain. They have taken everything which was valuable from Hussein's physical body. But there is something very valuable to Hussain behind him in those tents. His daughters and his ladies remain covered in the tents behind him. They look towards the tents and they say to themselves that in war, after you are victorious, those who remain become your slaves. Those who remain after war, the ladies are not to be covered. The call is given that, oh, you people, go towards the camp of Hussain. Every woman that you find, rip off the veil from on her shoulders. These enemies have not had enough. They have killed Hussain, they've killed the family, killed the companions. They've taken their armor and their swords, they have beheaded them. But now they go towards the tent of Zainab alayha salam. Only a few nights ago, Abbas was standing by the tents throughout the day protecting Zainab. Today, oh Zainab, there is no man to protect you. As the children remain in the tents, they must have been hopeful that these horses that we can hear coming closer, maybe they are bringing food and water for us. The women and the mothers must have thought that they have taken our men, they have beheaded them, now maybe they are having mercy on our children. But far be it from these creatures. They came on horseback. They came with torches of fire in their hands. They came towards the tents of the Ahlul Bayt. They began to light the tents with flames. We find that one tent became engulfed in flames. The ladies ran out and moved into another tent. The other tent was set alight. They moved to the other. Finally they came to Imam Zainul Abidin and they said, oh Zainul Abidin, oh Ali ibn al-Hussein, you are now our Imam. Oh Ali, tell us, do we exit the tent or do we stay inside? If we exit the tent, then the ladies of Muhammad shall be seen by the non-mahram men. Do we stay inside? But the tents are being lit on fire one by one. The ladies of Hussain exit the tent. The accursed enemies begin to rip off the veils from the shoulders of the family of Muhammad. This is Zainab, daughter of Batul. This is Zainab, daughter of Zahra. This is the one who was the epitome, the example of the hijab of a woman. But today, come and see how Zainab is covering her face with her own hair. The ladies were driven out of the tent, bareheaded, barefooted, and then they were brought and they were arrested. Ropes were taken and the ladies were strangled with the ropes around their necks, tied by their hands. The ladies turned to the menfolk, the enemies, and they say, "Oh enemies, oh men, take us one last time. We haven't seen the body of Hussein." All of the other bodies came back to the tents, but there's one body that remains on the plains of Karbala. There was nobody to bring back the body of Hussein. Take us and let us pay our final salutations and ziyarah to Hussein. The ladies are taken towards the body of Hussein, but this body is not like how the body was when it left the camp. When the body left the camp, there was a neck, there was a face, and there was a head on this body. But this body now lays bare without a head. Severed from the neck, there is a body in Karbala. This body, when it left the tent on top of Dhul Jannah, when it left the tent, when it was riding on Dhul Jannah, this body did not have any wounds on its chest. But now this body is not recognizable. There are spear wounds on the chest. There are arrow wounds all over the body. A stone has been thrown on different parts of this body. Zainab alayha salam falls onto her brother's body and begins to cry out. The Rawi says, "By Allah, I will never forget how Zainab cried on top of Hussein's body." Zainab tunadi bisawtin hazeen. She called out with a sorrowful voice and she cried and said, "Ya Muhammadah, oh Muhammad, Salla alayka malaikatu sama. The angels of the heavens send you blessings. هذا حسين بالعرى. This is Hussein whose body is left uncovered on the plains of Karbala. مرمل بالدماء. He is covered with his own blood. مقطع الأعضاء. His limbs have been severed of his body. وَبَنَاتُكَ سَبَايَا. Oh Muhammad, come and look at how your daughters have become slaves today. إِلَى اللَّهِ الْمُشْتَكَى. Oh Muhammad, I complain to Allah today. وَإِلَى مُحَمَّدٍ الْمُصْطَفَى. And I complain to Muhammad today. وَإِلَى عَلِيٍّ الْمُرْتَضَى. وَإِلى فاطمة الزهراء. وَإِلى حمزة سيد الشهداء. The Rawi says that when Zainab cried over the body of Hussein, all of the women folk began to wail on Zainab's crying. But then I saw a young daughter of Hussein, Sakina. She came running towards her father's body. This is the body that Sakina used to sleep on when she was afraid in the nights. She used to call for her father and sleep on his chest. Sakina, today you cannot sleep on the chest of your father because your father has so many wounds on his chest. If you sleep on his chest, it shall hurt him, O Sakina. The Rawi says, I saw this young girl, Sakina, trying to take the body of her father and put it on her lap. But as soon as the enemy saw her doing this, they rushed towards her and they separated her from the body of her father. Then Umar ibn Sa'ad turns around to his soldiers. He is still not satiated. He is still not had enough. He turns to his soldiers and he says, who are the ones who shall volunteer to take their horses and stampede and trample on the body of Hussain? They say 10 people volunteered. 10 people raised their hands. 10 people got on horsebacks. 10 people rode into the battlefield. 10 people's horses' hooves began to stampede and jump on the chest of Hussain. They began to break the ribs and the bones of Hussain. These 10 people, when they returned to Ibn Ziyad asked, who are you? They said, we were the ones who crushed the body, the back and the chest of Hussain. Ibn Ziyad said, give them rewards and gifts for the action that they did. The ladies were now taken as captives and prisoners of war. The heads of the companions and Hussain were sent forward to Kufa, placed on the top of spears and lances. These enemies rode in the desert as if they had acquired a great wealth that they put it for show at the top of their lances. Little do they know that this is the face that the Prophet used to kiss. These are the lips that Rasulullah used to kiss. This is the neck that Ali al-Murtada used to smell and kiss. This is the hair that is now dyed in red blood that Rasulullah used to put his hand through and Ali used to stroke. The enemies placed the women of the Ahlul Bayt on saddleless camels. Can you imagine the pain that a woman feels when she's put on a camel with no saddle to give her comfort? These were the women of the Ahlul Bayt who were the most respected of respected in their tribes at one time. This is Aqila. This is Alima Ghayr Muallima. This is Zainab alayha salam. She is now placed on top of a camel. But not only is she placed on a camel, she is also tied by a rope around her neck, ropes around her hands. From one camel to another, women are tied. Can you imagine, brothers, what happens when two camels separate from one another? The women begin to fall off of this camel. That the young women who are walking between the camels, when the camels separate, then the rope around their necks begins to get tighter. When a young woman or an old woman falls from the height of a camel that is standing and she falls to the ground, but if her hands are tied, then how does she protect herself when she falls to the ground? How many a times the ladies must have fallen from the tops of the camels when they were taken from Karbala to Kufa. But come and see what's happening to Ali ibn al-Hussein. Zainul Abidin is not only tied by ropes. Zainul Abidin has heavy metal chains around his neck. Zainul Abidin's ankles are chained. Zainul Abidin's hands are chained. Zainul Abidin is being made to crawl and barely walk on the hot plains of the sands of Karbala. As he walks past the body of his father Hussein, you can only imagine how Imam must have fallen on his father's body. Imam is being dragged now from Karbala to Kufa. In Kufa, the heads of the companions and Hussein are placed on top of trays as if they are some sort of reward. You find the accursed leaders of Kufa, they take a cane, stick in their hand, and they begin to play with the lips of the head of Hussein. One of them begins to whip the teeth of Hussein. The Ahlul Bayt scream and shout and they say, "Oh people, don't you remember that these are the lips that the Prophet used to kiss, and today you are whipping them?" A time will come, O Zainab, in Shaam, when you are going towards Shaam, O Zainab, when you're moving towards Shaam, when the ladies will ask Shimar, "Oh Shimar, we have been humiliated so much already. Our tents were put on fire. Our hijab was snatched from us. We were taken as prisoners to Kufa. Now when you take us to Shaam, oh Shimar, please take us from the back gate of the Shaam. Please take us from the back gate of the Darbar. Don't take us from the front. If you take us from the main entrance, people will think that we are slaves of war." Oh Shimar, these heads of the companions, please take them away from us. When the children are seeing their father's heads on spears, they are beginning to lament and cry. Shimar Mal'oon does the complete opposite. He takes the heads of Ahlul Bayt's companions, of the menfolk, and he spreads them between the camels. So all the children, when they look in front, they see the heads of their uncles and their fathers. When they look behind, they see the heads of their uncles and their fathers. Shimar goes and he sends one of his soldiers ahead, and he says, "Go and tell the people of Shaam that we are bringing the enemies of Allah, that we are bringing slaves and prisoners of war. Tell them to decorate the Darbar of Shaam." As the Ahlul Bayt are brought into Shaam, you find that they are brought in like prisoners. As they're brought in like prisoners, people begin to celebrate. As people celebrate, they begin to say that Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, praise be to the Amir Yazid who has brought you as prisoners. You find that women are taking and opening their windows. They are throwing food from the top of the windows on the children of Hussein. The children of Hussein, they are young children. They are hungry and thirsty. They start running towards the food. But Zainab says, "Don't eat this food. Sadaqah is haram on the family of Muhammad." As Imam al-Hussein's head is taken into the Darbar of Shaam, you find Zainul Abidin is walking slowly behind the Ahlul Bayt. Then an old man comes and he calls out towards the women of Hussein and the family of Hussein, and he cries out and he says, "Alhamdulillah alladhi qatalakum wa ahlakum." All praises to Allah who has killed you and your family. وَأَرَاحَ بِلَادَ مِنْ رِجَالِكُمْ, and has made our city peaceful by taking away your menfolk. وَأَمْكَنَ أَمِيرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ مِنْكُمْ, and who has made Yazid strong over you. Zainul Abidin alayhi salam looks at this man and he listens to how he is insulting the family of the Prophet. He turns to this man and he says, "Ya Shaykh, هل قرأت القرآن?" Oh old man, have you read the Quran? The old man says, Na'am, I have read the Quran. Imam says, فَهَلْ قَرَأْتَ هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ? Have you read this verse in the Quran where Allah says, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى? Have you read the verse in the Quran where Allah says, say, I do not ask for any reward from you except love for my family? The Shaykh says, yes, I've read this verse. Imam turns and says, فَنَحْنُ الْقُرْبَى. We are the close family of the Prophet. Oh Shaykh, have you read the ayah in the Quran where Allah says that anything you gain from it, a fifth of it is for the family? The man says, yes, I have read this. He says, oh man, نَحْنُ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Oh man, we are the close family of the Prophet. The old man becomes silent for a short while. He turns to Zainul Abidin and he says, Billahi innakum hum. Do you swear by Allah that you are these same people? Imam says, Tallah, I swear by Allah, inna lanahnuhum. We are those people. Min ghayri shakkin. There is no doubt in it. Wa haqqi jaddina Rasulullah. And I swear by Rasulullah, my grandfather. This old man takes his turban and he throws it to the ground and he begins to wail and weep over the calamities that has befallen Al Muhammad. But there is one time, brothers, one time after Shaam, after the tragedy has finished, when Zainul Abidin is asked, oh Imam, what was the most difficult time? Imam is seen. 1 minute he is sitting on his left side. 1 minute he's turning onto his right side. They say, oh Imam, why are you moving left and right? He says, when I was being taken from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Shaam, they chained metal chains around my ankles. The sun and the heat of the sun was glaring down on these chains. They became so hot that they melted my flesh. Now I can't sit on one side without finding pain. They said, oh Imam, what was the most difficult time? Imam says, Shaam, Shaam, Shaam. At that time when we were kept in the prison of Yazid. At that time when I heard Sakina crying for Hussain. At that time when I saw that Yazid sent the head of Hussain to this young girl Sakina. When Sakina places her cheek on the cheek of Hussain and she says, yeah, oh my father. She must have said, oh my father, these cheeks of mine, they were slapped by shimmer. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما لأمره.
थोड़े आगे आ जाए, इस तरह ही बैठे हुए थोड़े थोड़े आगे आ जाए ताकि पिछले आप देख सकते हैं कि वो बाहर में खड़े हैं. थोड़ा सा इस तरह ही आगे आ जाए. बिस्मिल्लाह आते जाए ताकि ऊपर रखूंगा.